Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Sunday night. Hope you all are happy. Had good weekends this week. Anyway, let's start getting into things. So, firstly, I wanted to give a couple shouts here to like Anon, who's some. I like to give a shout to Anon, who's volunteered to give art for the thumbnails of the shows. I figured it was bland just having the avatar on the screen of the streams up. And also, I wanted to make a quick correction about something last night. I mentioned that one thing I forgot to emphasize was bringing up a little incident involving a couple of things that happened to coincidentally coincide. One thing after the other was the timing of it, which, give me a second. This event right here, where Anon comes into, not Anon, but a guy called AltKek comes into my server. Starts making threats. And also Ralph blocking me. That took place about just a few minutes right after the other. As you can see here. Yeah, about like, looks to be, according to this, less than 20 minutes right after one another. So figured I'd point that out. So kind of weird that the moment that I talk shit to Ralph, this guy shows up, starts trying to shit up the server, making threats against me. Don't know. Seems to be a weird little pattern of behavior there. The other thing I wanted to, with that out of the way, let's just get right into it. So last time I was here, we talked about how Ralph and Andy hosted a stream. They were trying to bust pedophiles, quote unquote. Andy was all gung-ho about the whole thing. He decided to just get up there. A lot of people, quite rightly so, accused them of like just wanting to do this for a cash grab. I also made the comment that, and other people have also made the observation that, yeah, the stream's timing seems a little suspicious given that they were under all this controversy. So why not make them look better by comparison by just going after the scum of the earth? Problem with this being that in doing so, they may have just very well broken the law, and the evidence certainly indicates that. But I also mentioned something I wanted to go over, and the primary reason I'm doing this stream is Ralph appeared on Cog's show like the day after. So last Friday, the Friday after last, which would be on the 1st, and then followed by was when the stream was hosted, and on the 2nd, Ralph was on Cog's stream trying to defend himself. Yeah, I can't. I'll keep that in mind. The reason I have the rewind, just answering this in the chat here, about enabling rewinding the stream. Yeah, I'll consider doing that. The question would be then if the bit rate would increase or decrease. That's my concern there. So that's why you can't do that live, unfortunately. But once the stream is over, you can go back as much as possible. If you're just tuning in, you're not really missing much, so don't worry about it. Anyway, let me just get to that in a moment. Let's see. Right now, if I click this here, just exit out. Hold on 1 second. Okay, there we go. Let's show that. All right, so this is the stream, and I'm gonna press play on that.
Ralph,
what's going on, man? Somebody told me in Discord earlier today, said, wow, Ralph, you're really bad at staying off the internet when you said you were going to. I think that's true, actually.
That is, it's an addiction. It's an addiction.
Oh yeah, just a bit of context here. At this point, Ralph was still in a feud with Zoom, or had been in a feud with Zoom at least. a break, but he just kept on going on streams. Like, he said he was going to take a break Thursday, then he keeps on going on streams there. Friday, the Pedo stream, and then today, on the Saturday, he went on COG stream. He just, I don't know, Ralph just seemed to be on a lot of stress that during this time period. But anyway, continuing.
Well, you know, I keep my ears keep burning. I can't really help myself when especially when people are talking about me.
Well, it was a stream from the other night.
Involved with this,
it's a stream from the other night that people obviously have issue with. That Andy, like I think you were pulled into it as probably a guest, and Andy may have said, "Hey, Ralph, we're going to bust a Peter." I honestly don't know how you were brought into this whole situation, but it was basically like Andy may have his little silver lining of a few things being out there, but I think he really colossally fucked this up by doing this live.
Well, look. So there's a couple things. First off, Andy's my friend. He's going to be here with me tomorrow.
That's fine.
Somebody said I was throwing Andy under the bus or something. That's absolutely untrue. What I will say, first off, the idea that we did anything illegal, absolutely false. The idea that some of these people are just completely
I've
ridiculous.
been through this today. I don't think any.
Now keep in mind that what Ralph is saying there, the defense that Ralph is saying, just repeating over and over again that, oh, well, we didn't look at any child porn, we didn't do anything illegal. He's going to say that a lot. And he's going to belittle the attackers a lot. In fact, just as many times as he repeats that line. Continuing.
Anything was downloaded. He showed a video and stuff. We went through this all today. I went through the timestamps.
So this is not really for you. I haven't seen your whole stream. I went back and watched a little bit when Andy was on. Yeah. But this is more just for the record, because there's all kinds. People tried to call the police and had me arrested and all kinds of shit. My phone number was leaked, and people tried to blackmail me to get Gator's information and all kinds.
Well, I heard there was a load of crap with Dispatch last night, but I've not even looked into that shit yet. Apparently, there's a lot of crap going on there.
Basically, there's all kinds of shit going on. But I just want to state, obviously, nothing illegal was done. And then what was shown on the stream was all, public Instagram, photos. Like there was no porn or anything like that. That being said, I do understand the mindset of, oh, this was a bad idea. This stream didn't come off correctly and perhaps shouldn't have taken place. So I understand that. I understand that mindset for sure.
Yeah, that's fine. I think because obviously the stream was pretty fun, so it didn't come off great at all. I don't think that there was anything illegal going on there. I think that, like I say, everyone's main issue with this is just the fact that this could have been something that could have been built, something that could have been kept quiet, and it looks like I think you may have just been brought along for the ride, but I think Andy might have done this because obviously there was a little bit of the drama that had been like surrounding him for the last couple of days, and I think he was like, oh no, we've been working on this and stuff, and even to the people like and Augie will at least attest for, they were like, no, we were told you not to go live with this or even do this. So I think did you know about
instructions.
that? Yeah, did you know about that, or were you just pulled along for the ride, Ralph?
I don't. So I'll tell you the one thing I knew about this whole thing was Indigo White sent me a message. I can actually pull it up if you'll give me a second. I want to make sure I got it correctly. She sent me a message. Oh, let me pull it up.
Drama's giving Quinn taking a rain check because kids are in earshot. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, February 27th, early that morning. So I think it was just after I said I was going on hiatus. And she said, I have a giant story. There's a giant group of people on Instagram trading child porn, basically posting softcore child porn. And then she basically said, well, you can join this group, and we're digging on these people. She goes on a little bit more about the story. Said they're trying to sell this shit on Reddit. And so that's all I knew about it. And I said, hold on, let me pull it back up. I said, holy shit. Well, I'm taking a break from the show until Monday. Maybe I could write a story on it, and then that's all I said because I was trying to get back to writing a little bit.
That's fair enough. I'm guessing then they went to Andy directly themselves then, and Andy heard about it, and then he pulled you on the show, and you were like, "Oh well, I'll jump on." Terrible at staying away from the internet, Ralph. Terrible.
Well, that's another. Maybe I should have stayed off that day. I will say that, so I guess they contacted him around the same time. I'm not sure if it was that day or the day before. Right around the same time they contacted me. And he messaged me Thursday. He said, hey, let's do the stream. I'm going to basically what the
Now, it should be noted here because I see a lot of people like coming down more heavily. Like, I saw some people come down more heavily on Ralph than they were of Andy. Like they're saying, "Oh, well, Ralph pushed Andy into doing this," but no, this was very definitely and very clearly Andy's brainchild. And when Ralph says he's an idiot for falling in love with Andy and he should have thought twice, yeah, that was pretty stupid of you to go ahead and just jump on board with this. Um, but it was Andy who was like, yeah, we got contacted by some people, one of which was a porn star, and Ralph should know very well that when it comes to porn stars and talks about like children being abused, just stay the fuck away. Like after the whole Mercedes Carrera thing, which that seems to be an ongoing story, which I may cover later on, but not tonight though. But yeah, anyway, let's just continue listening here.
The title said we're gonna bust some pedos, and I said, all right.
Yeah, on paper it sounds like a good idea.
I was like, I mean,
You got pulled along for the ride. It sounds like, Ralph. We're gonna bust people.
all right, well,
You're gonna see
let's
police
bust some
officers pulling
pedos. It
down?
sounds good. I mean, right? Like,
I mean, it's kind of the same thing that happened to me when the whole Toon video showed to me, and they were like, he was like, should I post this? I was like, of course you should post this. I mean, what could go wrong? But
I don't think Andy was. Now a lot of people say, well, he just did this for super chats and this and that. I think his heart was in the right place, for sure. And maybe some of the way the stream was carried out could have been done differently. If I had done it, I think just kind of talking about it, maybe.
It's quicker this time. I don't care. I've shortened these. There you go.
Maybe just talking about it and showing the profiles, but not necessarily the photos. You can just show the profiles where they're selling it. You know what I mean? Like, where's this link? And then there's cash apps everywhere. I mean, it's pretty much blatantly out in the open. So maybe it could have been done like that, or it could have just not been done at all. So.
Yeah.
Now, here's the curious thing. Why is Ralph getting so defensive when there's quote-unquote nothing illegal going on? Like, why is he saying that? Oh, only maybe just only show the profiles, but no, don't show the other things that I'm not gonna go into detail or mention or talk about. It goes downhill from here. Let's just keep listening.
Yeah.
I mean, he was given he was told specifically, don't go live, and he went live anyway. He didn't.
By the way, Lord Akira is a fucking idiot, and he can drink bleach. He's accused me of all kinds of false shit, leaked my phone number. He can go jump off a goddamn bridge for all I care. And he's in the chat talking about, oh, courts don't care. You know what courts don't care about? Spurgs like you on the internet, making fucking wild claims. I'm not worried in the least. They could come confiscate everything in my goddamn house, and I'm not worried about being illegal. So you can suck my dick.
If they want to jump in the Discord, if you want to come and show the evidence, I'm guessing you've got to show this, because I've not seen this evidence that I've heard that this has actually happened. I've just heard the speculation surrounding it, and until I see anything else, I mean, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
He said, she said. I don't want to talk. I'm not talking to that faggot. He's accused me of doxing him just outrageously. Leaked my number, sent all kinds of harassment my way. I'm not gonna cry, I'm not Anita, but let's just be honest. People, threatening me and trying to blackmail me over, which I would never do, obviously. But give me Gator's information and we'll turn the cow thread around for you and all this shit. No, just get away from me. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. The only
Yeah, I found a lot of people caught on to this little clip here, and I have noticed too. Oh, I'm not complaining about. I'm not trying to act like Anita or Zoe or anything like that. All this harassment, it was a little too much for me. I just had to log off for a few while, guys. Like, come on, Ralph. I mean, I know you're able to play this better than that. So what are you doing? Like, come on. Anyway, back to the clip.
The reason I respond to him is because he's one of these idiots in the chat.
Mom, there's a weird fucking stray cat outside. It looks like grandma, the fucking thing. Hey, get the fuck out of here.
Are you there?
fucking muted?
Yeah, I think he's muted.
I have to agree with Jim on something with this. Like, I don't know what, like, I think COG otherwise does, and I think COG streams are otherwise competently put together, but this dumb play a clip when someone donates a certain amount of money. Just stop. Just don't do that. It breaks up the flow of the conversation. People get confused, and it's really annoying. It really comes off like I don't know why people find this entertaining. Like, maybe funny once or twice, But after that, it's just like there's only so many times I can hear the 5 fingers to the face joke before I just want to turn the whole thing off. Yeah. But anyway.
I don't know what that was, but yeah, the reason I was
Go for it.
Yeah, the reason I said that is because the idea that there's, any type of legal jeopardy or anything, that I have to be worried about, I'm not worried. I'll just put that out there right now. And Spurg's, thinking that I am, or that anything's going to happen based off some dumb shit they're claiming on fucking Cow or Kiwi Farms, you're really stupid. Anybody who thinks that, so.
And we said on my stream last night that nobody had downloaded anything. There was like one question as to whether someone said like Andy showed like censored news of like underage girls, and people were like, well, if he downloaded it and censored it, there's kind of some issues there. But we made
yeah, but
sure
he didn't download anything. It was stuff off Instagram, like public.
Right.
Now I have to pause here because one reason why I'm really hesitant to show like any of the footage from the stream here is because, I don't know the legal status if you take something that is child porn, like it's an underage girl and she has her breast exposed, but then someone else comes and covers it. I don't know if that's legal to possess or distribute. Like, that's another thing. Andy can say, well, it's censored, sure, but that might still be illegal. I don't know, like, and again, this is why it's really dumb for Ralph to be here, like, defending himself like this. You can clearly see the censored images on the screen, and there might be only a couple of them, but like that's something that's not like I like if there's not like at this point, if this story keeps on going, I think there might be like a formal investigation into this matter. It's just let's just keep playing the clip though, because it gets even more interesting.
Right. Pictures. Right. The reason he was talking about censoring it is because they were still underage. You know what I mean? Like they weren't naked.
Yeah, I know exactly
but,
what you're talking about.
15, 16-year-old girl's ass, all propped up. You still, it's not illegal.
But come on, Ralph. At that point, did you not think, dude, why have you got these pictures to show people? Like, why? Who cares?
Well,
just explain what's going on. Like, it's really sensitive. This sort of subject. It's fucked.
True. I don't disagree with that. It's a sensitive subject, but the idea that it's child porn, it's not child porn. So I just
nothing illegal.
People who are saying that are just liars. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, they're just fucking lying their ass off. Now you can say the stream was ignorant, it didn't come off well, it was a big mistake. That's all fair criticism, but the other stuff that's just not. That's nowhere in the realm of what actually happened, and it's being used to try to smear me and Andy, and it's pretty ridiculous.
I don't think. Like I've gone through obviously.
That part of it.
I've explained that. I don't think it was child porn. It sounded weird though when you because you can hear it in your own voice when he's asking you, and you're like, no, don't show any of this. Sounded like everyone's don't show it.
I knew it sounded weird, and then there's 2 or 3 times during the stream where I go, look, I just want to be very clear.
Yeah, no.
That's why I said that, because
I know, I get it, and it was
I could read the chat and I already saw what so people in there were trying to spin it. I was like, dude, I just want to be very clear. There's no child porn here. We're not looking at child porn. This is publicly available stuff on Instagram.
Ralph, again, what are you doing? Like, I don't get why he went on here. I really don't. I think that Ralph found it necessary for himself to defend himself, but honestly, he has no good way of defending himself here and making himself look good. Normal people don't have to go out of their way and let everyone else know, oh, no, we weren't looking at child porn. That's not what we were doing. It just really came off that way. We were just looking at like a 15 to 16-year-old girl's ass. Like, we can't really show that. That's why we had the discussion, guys. Totally not anything naughty here. It's all legal, I swear. That's what they told me. So, playing still.
The actual meat of the situation is Instagram not shutting this down. I do think that that's still the biggest plot line out of it. But look, I mean,
That's the
I'm
thing.
fine
Though,
with.
you've got to keep taking that to Instagram, and with the people that you know and stuff like that, you can actually kind of keep this on the down. The hardest thing is that you have these people who even leaked it to yourself and Andy who weren't supposed to have done that. Like, and this is the issue: is like you want to try and have this sort of push where it's like you can send this to the authorities, but a lot of people need to at least report this, and not just with bullshit reports, just with actual no, this is here, and I think this should be reported. But it seems like this is over a week. This happened, Ralph. A week. So we've had one call to the FBI, no response. We've had a few back and forths on Instagram and shit like that. And this is over a week, and then Andy's had it for about, what, 2-3 days or something, you said, Augie? Is that right?
Yeah, Andy had it for 2 or 3 days before he went live.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I take your criticism, and I listen to a good bit of your stream, Cog. Like, I take that on board, and I think that pretty much everything you said is fair. But the other stuff, I have no. I
think you had the best intentions. I can understand it, but I know you guys won't do this again. Fucking hell, I can definitely say.
No, I think that's safe to say.
Fuck.
I definitely won't be going on the pedo hunt again for sure. Yeah, I'm good. But I did wanted to come on here and talk about it a little bit because people were asking me in the chat, like, Ralph, you going to talk about this Monday? I was like, I don't know. Probably not. I mean, maybe I'll address it for a minute, but if people think I'm going to sit there and talk about it 30, 45 minutes on my show, no, I'm not going to. Yeah. Because what else can I say besides what I just said here in 10 or 15 minutes? So, yeah, I mean, that's my position on it. So
that's totally fair. I'm hoping Andy can get his fingers. Oh, tell me, Rick James. Tell me what. Slap. So we've got
Unity.
And the donations, I do like them being loud and obnoxious. I can't help it. I get a buzz out of it every time it interrupts me. I don't know why. And look at that. You get balance in the glass. I'm gonna go through that in a second. You fucking assholes. I swear. But yeah, like I say, it's this is something I think. Like I want Andy to kind of come back on. Like you've at least come on here and you'd be like, yeah, I get all that stuff. Andy sounds way more defensive in the way that he is, and he's like,
well, I think
I get
so.
it. And it's just like, look, come on, man. Like you sound like a teenager.
I understand. So I mean, a lot of people are going at us, right? And I think, like I said, I understand what you're saying, and I take that criticism on board. And actually, I mean, looking back, probably best not to have done the show. Let's be honest. Like, I mean, I don't think that that's really in doubt. That being said, I don't think Andy's heart was in the wrong place. I don't think it was. Yeah, and you know.
But I think there was a part of Andy, though, that went live to maybe do a little bit of a shekel grab. He was told not to go live by the people he'd got the information from, and he decided to go live anyway. He jumped the gun with that. I think there may have been a shekel grab. I think it could have been a deflect from the drama that he'd been having a bit of back and forth with me, which, again, he did a stream about, and it became this thing. And it's like, he comes on my low show, he lies. I point out that he lies, he gets angry. He then does a show talking about me, so obviously people tell me about it. I go on his show, he disappears from the conversation, so I do my own show. And I talk about it. Obviously, it's just like it's just so fucking stupid, this shit. And I think to deflect from that, he's like, "Oh, well, actually, we're busting pedos over here," and he made a shit stream. That's so again, personal perspective. Like I say, that's what I can say.
I think he had been told, and I had been, they said this to me too, that Instagram knew about this. It had been reported a bunch of times. I have no reason to believe that that's untrue, and they're kind of just turning a blind eye to what's going on here. And I think he felt like maybe if, I do a big stream about it, they'll shut the shit down. And maybe some of these people might even go to jail. I think that was his mindset. So I don't know. I do know it is easy to get look, sometimes I come on these shows and get pretty angry too. A lot of times when people are throwing every single thing under the sun at you. And a lot of it. So I think part of it is what I talked about. So there's legitimate stuff like, wow, that stream was a bad idea. It didn't come off well. It was shit. And then there's, oh, you guys are going to jail. The feds are on the way. You were watching child porn. I mean, so it's all mixed into both. So I don't know. I think that might be part of it. But look, I don't know. He can answer that himself. But I think that's part of it.
Now, it's also interesting to note here as well that Ralph's also added more to his story as the time has gone on. he's gone from saying like, oh, there was nothing legal, there was no child porn, I don't know what people are talking about, to, oh, well, the real story is Instagram. Instagram was the one hosting all the CP and child porn. We were just trying to bust the pedos over it. Like, just seems a little weird that this would be added later on as more people started, like, you know, grilling him over it. But let's continue.
I've got a load of people now saying...
If that makes sense, I don't know.
I'm listening to you, but I've also got people fucking DMing. Do you want stuff on Toon? I was literally just talking about this this interaction that's been there. I'm just observing right now.
I don't really know anything about Toon.
I don't really know. He did a few response videos that I found quite funny in the past a little bit, but I said this yesterday, like, he speaks a little bit too fast. Sometimes I can't understand him, so I just kind of just tuned out. But people tuned in and they enjoy it, so fair enough. That's fine. I just, you know...
Yeah, well, I know he has. I think I've seen one or two of his videos, and I know he has some kind of beef. Does he have a beef with Keem? I think, or maybe it was a joke. I'm not sure. I really don't know.
Well, yeah. I know Keem comes back in here in a moment in this fucking stream we're going through. He definitely does.
Yeah.
No, Toon made a video basically responding to Keem when he was on Bo Black's stream and basically calling out Keem for like bullying Bo Blacks and stuff like that. I don't think the beef is serious or anything like that, but
I did see a little bit of the stuff between Keem and Bo Black. Some of that was kind of funny, actually. Yeah, where Keem
on the stream.
Keem just took his video and put the drama alert banner down underneath. Now I can understand. Might not be as funny if you're Bo Blocks, but I did laugh at it on Twitter. I think that was Keem.
Yeah, he was pretty pissed about that. But
what is the 5 fingers? Say to the face. Slap. Slap.
Carry on, sorry.
But yeah, I mean, look, if you have...
You could even hear it in Cog's voice that he's frustrated by this bit. Cog, just get rid of it. Don't have this on your show. There's just no point in having this thing. Sorry, I just had to get that one out of the way. Let's just continue.
Any other questions about it? I kind of wanted to get on here. I mean, honestly, I like watching your show. I've been watching a lot, especially the past couple weeks. Plus, as I said in the chat, I don't really know how much I'm going to talk about on Monday. Probably not that much. I might make a little short, statement or whatever about it. But I'm definitely not going to make it a focus of the show.
Yeah, I would probably suggest, like, if you're going to mention it, just very, very brief, because
an acknowledgement
everyone
is
involved
nothing.
in this.
Yeah, well, I understand what some people were saying. By the way, Bo Black says it was funny. I thought it was funny too. So I do understand what people are saying. Well, Ralph's just ignoring it. Da da da. I mean, I'm not going to do a whole show on it. No, and I'm not going to make it a focus because I just don't. I'm just not interested. I mean, what else can I say besides what I've already said? And if you're expecting me to just go out there and self-flagellate for 3 hours, that's not going to happen. I do think, maybe it would have been better if the stream didn't happen. But look,
I would definitely say so.
Look, it did. And
honestly,
it's
Ralph, I go even beyond that. The stream shouldn't have happened. Even Toon's initial video shouldn't have happened. This should have all been something that was just kept on the wraps and sent. If it's about giving a fuck, and it's like, what do you give a fuck about your views? And it's like, oh, we've got to get the message out there. No. You need to get the message to the authorities. What are the public going to do? Nothing. You've got to constantly keep just going, look, this is here. Keep filing bit. Keep sending shit through. Basically, harass the fuck out of them. Make them do their jobs and just be like, look, this is here. I'm going to keep sending this through. This is child porn shit that's on the internet where girls are selling this. You can even get try and get chat logs to an extent if you want, and just go, look, these are chat logs that are there where they'll try and exchange, and that's it. You send chat logs through to the police. You've got to keep on top of this shit.
Now, here's a confusing thing about that. Cog is correct. That's what you should do in these cases, not spurg out and just make all this as public as possible before any investigation has happened. But according to Worski, before stream went live, he said, I found in it... Oh, wrong thing. My mistake. Let me get to the right one. We'll get to that bit later. Got in touch with an FBI agent, and he is on the case. In 24 hours, I did what people didn't do in over a week. And also, I got a special stream coming in an hour. He already tipped off the FBI. And, this guy replies, actually, correctly, you tipped off the entire server. You didn't go immediately to the authorities and keep it quiet. and you're putting yourself on a pedestal despite the fact you botched this in the worst way possible. For fuck's sake, man. Yeah, this guy is completely correct. That's exactly what Andy did. Like, I don't get, like, there's not really much defending this. In fact, there's nothing they can really do to defend what they did. So let's keep listening. How much more do we have to suffer through Cog? He's awful. Give it a few moments. We're mainly here not for Cog, but for Ralph. So let's get back to that.
Though you have decoys in place to an extent, but it's such a touchy subject because it's young girls who are selling their photographs to obviously paedophiles. That's all it can be, to anyone who's overage who's got the money to basically take the money off them.
Yeah, look, if you think about it, there's a lot of stuff that could be done, but also this is all going around in the whatever YouTuber, streamer, whatever you want to call it, community.
I will read through these fucking hell. Sorry, my
yeah, go ahead.
No, you go for it. You continue. I'm going to read
no,
through
I was just saying, it's going around. So somebody sees it and they're like, "Wow, these pedos need to be stopped." Down that way. I don't know if that makes any sense, but so you look at the tools you might have. Worski's sitting there. Well, I got a YouTube channel. I got this stream that people watch. Maybe I could blow it up on the stream and get it shut down that way. I don't know if that makes any sense, but looking back, Monday morning quarterbacking things, yeah, there's a lot of things that could have probably been done differently and should have been done differently, but I don't know. And one other thing I'll say, with another talking point is, they deleted their accounts now, and the feds lost the trail. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm sure most of you here do, but maybe some of the people listening, when you delete your account off of YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, they still have a record of your account, and that's all still on their servers.
But again, your whole problem is Instagram.
Yeah, Ralph's trying to defend himself from that particular criticism, and there's just no way he can do that because it's true, Instagram does have access to that material, or presumably does. However, they're not just going to release it randomly. They would have to be subpoenaed by the FBI or investigator asked for them. And that's going to take a lot of time. And the covering up their tracks part doesn't necessarily have to do with the actual accounts they have online. It has to do with their information that they stored on themselves. And again, if Ralph wants to claim that these guys didn't do nothing, they're all good boys who didn't didn't get their hands on any kind of illegal material, then why is he saying that they're going to get caught, that these supposed pedophiles are going to get caught and they're going to get apprehended eventually? Moving on.
Isn't getting along with you, but don't worry, Instagram's got a backup. Come on, that's
no, I'm saying it's they might not be getting along with me, but if the feds came knocking and they were working on the case, they would definitely hand that information over. No, unless it's
already been deleted because they already know about it. Who knows? But again, I agree with you. They could at least look at a cache. That is an option.
Yeah, they still have the information. Now they might not give it to me or Andy Worski, but if the feds come with a fucking subpoena and they have that information still, which I think standard operating procedures is save it for like 6 months, 9 months, something like that. Mm-hmm. Then they'll definitely hand it over because not too many corporations really fuck with the FBI. Like tell them to fuck off. So I'm pretty sure that they would hand it over.
Ralph, I'm going to fire these off. We've got a load coming in. So, Sherlock Guntz for 5 saying, doesn't Ralph have a financial business relationship with Andy? Why are we going to just accept his biased statements when the stream recordings are available?
Not only do I have a financial relationship with him, we're going to Miami 11th through 15th. He'll actually be here in Richmond tomorrow. And I'll have some more information on that front. But he's also a friend of mine, so yeah, that's definitely.
You clearly said that when you came on the show.
I've never sat here. Yeah, I've never sit here and said I was, not.
Tres for 666. I agree with all points, but to play devil's advocate, police investigations don't really move on Daddy of 5 until DeFranco and mainstream started to cover it. They should have waited if they also wanted to focus on Instagram's indifference. Yeah, because it's a week. It's been a week. That's why it's so weird. It's like you had this information for a whole week. Ooh. Arnold Guntonator for 5 saying, Ralph, don't believe what you heard. Don't believe you're lying, guys. Damage control. Anita Guntkeesian for 5 saying, Gunt, I am the true victim. Gunt cries as he doxes you. And then April Rain for 5 saying, to Ralph and Andy, the fact is, it oftentimes takes years to bring down a pedo ring, and you're when very well may have fucked up the investigation, let alone an actual court case. Fuck off with your good intentions. So again, some people say,
well, so the thing is, we don't, this whole that there was an investigation, we don't even know that there was an investigation. That's just people making up shit.
That's like
as far as I know, there wasn't.
And like that's the thing. Like, I don't know if there was an investigation.
What is this investigation that people keep talking about? Because I'm certainly not aware of it.
It's not this. It's a.
Well, could it possibly be the moment when Andy got in contact with the FBI they're referring to? You know, that bit? I mean, come on, Ralph. Just use your head. If there was an investigation going on already into these people, and assuming that this wasn't just one big honey pot to rope in people who are complete morons like yourselves, then they would eventually investigate these people if it was so easy to find all this stuff. Like, use your head, man. Just think a little bit.
Speculation that basically there's always honeypot schemes which go on where you have Peter rings that the police keep an eye on, and like is being said, it takes years for this to do. These guys tried to complete in a week what it takes trained professionals a year, years, plural, sorry, to actually complete. As an investigation.
I'm not saying it's impossible that there was no investigation. I'm saying people are just saying it's fact there was an investigation when I'm not aware of any, evidence.
Oh no, that's fair enough. But again, you just turned up to the show, Ralph. You did. Like, you kind of, hey, we're just going to catch some pedos. Well, that sounds fun. And you've turned up to the show.
What is the five?
Which
Say to the face.
Well, it's that. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what happened. So and that's the thing. So you've just turned up to the show. Like I said, he's dragged you along for the ride while he's just completely colossally fucked this up.
I'm not gonna.
But he's your friend, and you're not going to say anything bad on him.
I don't want to interpret it. I willingly went on the show, so that was.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't think you jumped the gun. I just think you went in blind. I think you just went in completely blind. And then the next thing you know, you got Andy going, can we show these pictures? And you're like, I don't know. Don't show shit. Don't fucking show me anything. And it's so funny. It's like you can see that just within the conversation. Goodwill Gunting for 5 saying, Gunt, I know these are some good ones.
Can I say mine on air? Because I posted it in chat earlier.
Go on.
Gunts of Navarone. That was the one that I posted in chat. That's a little old school. Yes.
I like the.
Oh yeah, Ralph, you're totally not upset by the Gunt memes. I'm sure. Yeah, like I like how Ralph tries to play off that his disgusting, and I mean disgusting, morbid obesity that he carries with him day to day doesn't bother him at all. No, he didn't get clipped by Godwinson and get made fun of when he went on stream at like in the wee hours of the morning and just rant about how all these people are trying to take me down. They're always trying to get at me for these things and complain about it. I need Zoom for support just to keep him from crashing the stream down. No, that never happened. Let's just continue.
The Goodwill Gunting, that's
that's pretty good.
Good. I didn't do anything wrong, but if I did it doesn't even matter because it wasn't really CP and the accounts were deleted anyway. Definitely not downplaying the issue.
Well, I think so. I take the criticism that it was a mistake and the stream shouldn't have been done, and there's a lot of other things that could be done differently. But in terms of there's illegalities and you fucked up some FBI investigation. There's no evidence. First off, there's no evidence there was an FBI investigation, and there certainly was no illegalities on the stream. Now, you could say the stream is a bad idea. You should have reported it. Don't stream about it. There's a million different things you can say, but when it goes into certain territories, I do have to admit that I don't really have any patience for that type of allegation.
I've got causality for 5 as well, saying, Ralph, what images did Andy not want to show on stream that he said he had downloaded onto his PC? I don't know when he said he downloaded it, but he said
no, he didn't download.
I think he had to an extent. He had screen grabs of the things that were on Instagram.
Screen grabs of Instagram.
But apparently there was one, and I don't remember this. But again, no one sent me.
Fingers, say to the face.
I can see the name already on the screen. No one sent an actual an actual timestamp through of the, and I've listened to this, Zach's listened to this, and I don't remember him saying that he downloaded any actual thingy or the file or anything like that. He showed a video that was sent to him by somebody else showing the file on a browser as well, which you can see on the screen. But it says apparently he said there was one including a nipple showing as he described. I don't know if that was a.
Looks. That sounds pretty damning. Wonder where this is going. And yeah, like also another thing that I've noticed here is Cog's trying to like, Cog realizes it's a fucked up situation. It comes across to me like Cog realizes it's a fucked up situation, but he's also networking with Ralph and Andy, so he's not going to go too hard on them, which take that for what you will. And it's even with that kind of I'll give him like I'll go overboard. I'll give him not only the benefit of the doubt, but the benefit of just ignoring certain facts that transpired. It's not looking well.
The joke at the time, I can't remember. I've not been sent a timestamp, but I don't know if that sounds familiar or whether it was just a joke that he made to you.
I can tell you that I didn't.
Andy was making. Andy did make some weird jokes.
Yeah, he did make some jokes, and we did. Look, so there's two different schools of thought when you're dealing with something like this. You can just be straight on dead serious about it the whole way through, or you can do some black humor, and not of the African American variety. You know what I mean? Just like gallows type about what well, you're English, of course you fucking know about it. It was
just strange. It was like, what are your intentions here? Is it just to kind of jump in and go, ha, we bust the ring and stuff? Which it's.
Yep, guys, it was just now we've gotten more add to the story where. Like before, there was nothing going on. There was nothing illegal. Then it was, well, maybe there was some stuff, but it was all on Instagram, maybe. And now it's, Andy was, when he was describing the naked image of the girl with an exposed nipple, that was a joke, guys. No, seriously. Just that part, that was a joke, okay? Believe me. It does not get better. It does get worse.
Seems like that's all it was, and then it was like, oh well, we've got a few things, and I honestly think it's a small part of what I got. Tipster made a great point, obviously, with the information that they could have stored off just the fucking Instagram shit, and that's all you've really got. And there's a lot more that could be.
Well, I do think, yeah. So looking back, you could say, well, if they had been, deadpanning the whole time, 100% serious, no jokes, even the stream that we did would have came off a little bit better, probably. Yeah, I think that's true.
Hans and Gunter, sorry, for 5, saying, I know the game better. Andy FBI is investigating. Andy FBI is investigating. Ralph, there's no fucking investigations, so who is lying? Because Andy did say that on the stream that he thought they were investigating, but this is the thing, and Toons come on and said, well, he actually contacted them and he got no response from them. It only been going on for a week. Andy did say a lot of bullshit. He really did on the stream to try and sell the actual, this is what I've been focusing on for the weeks while people have been focusing on me. He fucking said that at the start of the show, and I was like, this better be something that you've got like planned out for weeks or something, because this must have taken you years, Andy, to bust a pedo ring, unless you're just watching like pedo spring fucking videos that happens all the time where they actually get arrested and stuff. But no, he didn't. He actually was busting a pedo ring, and it was just like, but you're not. You're just alerting them, and it was just, oh god, you know how it went. You know how it went.
Yeah. Can I just say that I just thought of a gun one, the man with the golden gunt. I think that might be me, actually.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like it. Galby 3000 for 2 saying, as Tipster said, it's more about the offline files on hard drives that will now be destroyed before the feds can get to it, which is a great point, which we said before. Medica Fembot for 1, just woke up and you're still going. Must be a meat show. Don't worry, you and Warski will be cool again. He came on the show today, but he kind of just disappeared. I don't know what happened to his microphone. I'm going back to dying. Who are Scooby and Buttercup? Scooby is a piece of shit. Buttercup is she still around? If that's the same person I used to know fucking ages ago, Jesus, I can't remember. I'll have to remember my opinion. I don't even know. Someone I might have spoken to fucking age like a couple of years ago even. Treads for 1 saying, Ralph, incorrect. FBI had to take Apple to court. So Ralph, incorrect. FBI had to take Apple to court to access to Orlando Shooter's phone to gain access.
That was to break their encryption on a device. That they set that at a higher level versus, you know, a social media company just handing over account data on some, you know, possible pedophiles. I would say, you know, letting the FBI have backdoors and stuff into your encryption is a higher level. But yeah, I do know about that case for sure.
Yeah, Ralph's getting schooled by the chat left and right, and if been able to pick up, the super chats are an indication of what the chat was like that day. In fact, you can even go on Cog's channel, and the chat is just ripping on Andy and Ralph in this particular section. Like during this whole interview, they're just shitting on him. There's, as I recall, there was hardly any, like maybe there's one or two people taking Ralph's side, but even they were like, yeah, no, this is bad. This is really terrible. But I think that yeah, we'll continue a bit more.
Great Snake for 5, who's a mod of mine. Ask Ralph, does he regret entering into the business relationship with Andy, given where things are today? Do you think Andy will flip out over something petty and turn on you?
Do I think Andy will turn on me? No.
Right, okay.
And do I regret, you know, getting involved with him? No.
Okay, that's fair.
Now, I will say I regret letting some of the drama that's not really important take over the kill stream a little bit. I do regret that, but no, I like Andy. He's a friend of mine, and looking forward to seeing him tomorrow. So,
okay, fair enough. I think there's obviously a lot of people obviously see Andy and they think that he might. Obviously, at some point, he might turn on you or be angry at you or something like that in the future. There, a lot of people still see that coming to an extent.
Well, look, I mean, it's the internet. People speculate. I've done it myself.
I've heard the speculation.
You know what I mean?
I've heard the speculation that maybe after Miami, you might just go, you know, I'm just going to cut ties and stuff like that. Because you don't want his drama on your show, but I'm guessing you're still going to have Andy on the kill stream from time to time, where you're just not actually having him on.
Wait, I gotta replay that. I don't think did Cog just say that you got to avoid drama on your show to Ralph? Does he not watch the kill stream like at all? Let's play that again.
After Miami, you might just go, you know, I'm just going to cut ties and stuff like that. Because you don't want his drama on your show, but I'm guessing you're still going to have Andy on the kill stream.
Cog, what are you doing? Like, come on, this is Ralph we're talking about. Ralph has spent the last year banking off of drama and using politics as filler. Like, that is his shtick. That's what the kill stream, actually, come to think of it, even back in the old days, the old kill stream, that's what that was always about. There was always this drama element. Sure, Ralph's brought up other topics, but the main draw has always been drama, and Ralph has been, for the most part, unapologetic about it. Like, come on, like, not want to have drama on your show? And Ralph saying that he let the drama spill in too much. We covered this before. The whole falling out with Zoom and Ralph and his numbers, for that matter, when it comes to his Patreon supporters and other things that's been cataloged by Dispatch, that's because he's been avoiding drama when it's become too inconvenient, like when Andy gets into an embarrassing situation where he cheats on his girlfriend with a fat degenerate, or when Andy is exposed telling blatant lies about what drugs he's been taking and about the full extent of his quote-unquote training. It's just, let's continue.
From time to time, where you're just not actually having him on.
No, yeah, well, I said this the other day. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back on the kill stream, but as far as just the drama the past couple weeks, and some of the drama even has included me to certain extents, I just think it's kind of taken away from the show.
To a certain extent, Ralph? I mean, my gosh, this, to a certain extent, like you were like a caught dox, like, well, I wouldn't say you were caught doxing. You managed to get away with it by a hair's breadth, but you were caught in a server with Zoom and the Plate Gang pulling gay ops on people. Like, I'm not sure how else to explain what you were doing, but I covered that on the show, and you can still find the archives of the stream on Medic or Fembot's channel, where Zoom and the Plate Gang exposed all this, and it was to your own Patreon supporters. A little bit, Ralph? I mean, that's kind of a big deal. It's not just an oopsie-daisy or a mistake. You fucked up big time, and it was in a way that was malicious. I'm surprised that he's not getting... In fact, the one benefit that Ralph has with all these pedo stuff coming out about him and all these allegations is that he can shy away from his fans that was something that he did to them. And that when he says that he wasn't like involved with any kind of illegal shit, you shouldn't trust the word of a guy who in the next moment, because it's funny, is gonna fuck with you, even though you're giving him money. So just think about that for a moment. Just blows my mind.
And kind of diverted it a little bit, and it's, to me, it's not really been. It's kind of drag, not the homosexual drag drama or whatever, drag queen drama, but just it's kind of a drag on the audience where they're just like, oh no, not this again. We don't want to hear about this. And I think it just kind of depresses the audience. Whereas, Chungus, flash banging dogs or, all his shit and the stuff with Tonka, that's the type of fun stuff that people in the audience actually liked hearing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because when it comes to drama, when it happens to people I don't like Tonka and Ian Miles Chung, then that is the kind of stuff I want to cover on my show. But when it happens to my friends, or when I'm involved with it a little too much, I'm not going to cover it. That's what Ralph's saying there. It's, if he was smart, he would have just taken his own advice, did what he said he was going to do, take a break from the internet for a while, and come back with a better frame of mind. But like Ralph said, I believe Ralph already said this on the show, or if not, he says it a little bit later, he has an addiction problem. And I think he's obsessed with it to an unhealthy degree. And if it has influenced his eating habits in any way, well, I think the size of his mass pretty much confirms that. Let's just continue.
So I just think that this is kind of...
Well, causality for 5, why should we believe Andy made all these fuck-ups, as admitted by everyone involved, but only having child porn on his hard drive being an intentional joke? I don't think it was he had it on his hard drive. The pictures were of what basically screenshots of the public actual Instagrams as they are. And I think even on top of that, he wanted to try and blur it out on top of that because he still thought they were over the top.
What is the foul?
Okay, Cog, I don't know if Cog just didn't do enough research into these guys because he trusts them a little too much or what the case is, but the guy, if you're saying that Andy's defense is that he censored the images so it's okay, if Andy took the time to censor the images, he had to have had them on his PC himself. I'm not sure what that response was like. Either what, I don't know. That just seems to have been a dumb take, really.
Fingers, side of the face. What? Slap.
The slip about the nipple, again, that's my memory, thinking that might be a joke. I don't know if it was. I can't remember him saying something where he's like, oh, should I cover the nipple to Ralph? And Ralph's like, yeah, cover the nipple. I don't remember that bit of the conversation. If you want to send me a timestamp and show me I'm wrong, I don't mind. I'm open to be proved wrong. That's fine. No issues with that at all. So I love it. I love being open to the audience and just and I'll answer questions.
Yeah, I mean,
and stuff.
let
It's
it
the
roll,
easiest way to
dude.
do.
Yeah.
It's just the easiest way to do it. It's because people obviously want to ask these questions all the time. You get through them, and yeah, hopefully it should be enough. Got a Gunter X Gunter for 5 saying, Gunt, why is Andy obviously trying to spread some bullshit about the CP situation to make himself look better? There is no fucking way the FBI will talk to him and know the initial people who submitted the evidence. And not the initial people, who submitted the evidence.
No, I don't know. I don't know of any FBI investigation. I think. Look, I hadn't even talked to him. I think what he meant.
I can get this on screen because Andy's. This is still on. It's still on Andy's Twitter, I think. In fact, let me get these tweets up because I didn't get these up before. I was going through them and I didn't get them on screen for everyone. Let me do this. So we've got Andy Warski's initial tweet, which was all the Instagrams were deleted, all they removed pics. FBI informed. They are closing all their shit now. Successful. That was the tweet that Andy obviously got rid of because people started saying, well, actually, you fucked it up and you might have destroyed an entire thing. Andy then said, and this is the one that's still on his Twitter, which is got in touch with an FBI agent and he is on the case. In 24 hours, I did what people didn't do in over a week. Once again, showing it's just over a week. It's fucking stupid. It should take years, Andy, to stop a pedo ring. Yeah, like, you crazy. And also, I got a special stream coming in an hour. I don't know if that ever happened, but yeah. Now, it's like, I mean, we got an actual FBI agent on it, not just contacted. The FBI
I think
is hard to get a hold of with just civilians reporting.
Hang on just a second, just checking something here, because he was showing the same tweet I showed earlier. Let's put that in English so we can actually know what the time says. Correct, but this tweet came before the stream. It had to have. And also it may have been, no, that can't be right. Yeah, this was before the stream. This wasn't after. So Cog's incorrect there with his timeline, with his chronology. So let's continue.
I think what he's talking about there is that Godspeed got in touch with an agent actually. I don't know, but I do remember actually had a conversation with Godspeed this morning. And I don't know if there's any investigation, but he had said he had called some people he knew or something like that. So I think that might be what he's referring to. I don't really know though.
I'm being sent a thingy by. Apparently, I've got to see something from Pro South. Go for it. I mean, the Tonka show was last night. Let's have a look out if they lick his balls over here. Let's have a ganders. Andy to a wrestling. Have you just sent me the Pro South thing? And I've just got to go and look what it is. What's new about this? You've not sent me.
Someone.
Okay, no worries. I'll listen to it.
Yeah, just skipping ahead a little bit. I'm not really interested in the whole Tonka Saw stuff. I think that Tonka Saw's career, quote unquote, is pretty much over, at least for the time being. He'll probably spring up again, do some more lolsy stuff, but to me, I'm just not particularly interested in what Tonka Saw is doing or not doing anymore. He's been exposed as a fraud. He's been mostly discredited. Like, I would say it's been completely discredited. I don't think that anyone's still on Tonka. Like who's he got left? Vamp Candy and maybe a couple of moderators in his chat. I don't really see this guy as relevant. I'm not sure why people keep harping on him, other than, well, we need someone to harp on against.
Where is it in the general?
Yeah, in general.
I'll scroll to the bottom. Is it the one with Andy's head on it? Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Wait, where is it? Jesus Christ, scroll. God, shit. Well, no, there it is. Got it. Okay.
Okay.
You got the first one. She edits them before, so no one has the uncensored except for her. But I don't know. Someone might have them. If you look at Daddy's Girl. Okay. Yep. There we go. Now we go back to this. Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna show that. I mean, they tried censoring it, but Ralph, do you see what I'm?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not gonna be fucking. Yeah.
I wouldn't do that one.
Dicey,
that could be a mole for all we know.
No. I'm sorry.
That could be a mole.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's not like an actual block on the nipple there. Yeah.
Okay, so listen to that. If you listen to that carefully, oh well, they tried to censor it, but it didn't work out. Ralph, can you see what I'm seeing there? Ralph responds, yeah. And SoulCal makes a joke that, oh well, that could be a mole, but then Andy corrects him and says, no, yeah, they tried to censor the nipple there, but they didn't quite work out. Like, there's no doubt about what they're talking about. And as far as that being a joke there, I don't hear anyone laughing in that clip. Like, not really. Like, any chuckles you hear is just some nervousness about the situation. This isn't like this. It's like there's no, like with the other stuff you could say, well, maybe there's some ambiguity here. It's a gray area, but no, with this one, it's very clear they're looking at something very illegal. And also, whoever was the one who was censoring these pics, yeah, if they're the pics that he's referring to, the ones that Andy showed on screen, that personally definitely was in possession of some things that are not legal if they're the age that they say they are. Like, I don't know, like, so I don't know what they're doing here, but let's hear Ralph's defense.
All right, yeah, you can pause it and I'll respond. That's still funny to me. I'm sorry. So there was a picture of I can't help it. That's funny. I don't know. So there was a picture of the I don't know how old she was. What, 15, 16? I'm not sure. And it was like it was her tits out basically, but it over her the part that would get you struck down, the areola or whatever, the nipple, the part that would get you struck down on Instagram, it had like I don't know how many of you have a note or something like that, note 8 with the little pin on it. So somebody had taken the pin, and I guess her, and like censored that out. And so Andy was saying, "Oh, I don't know if we should show that because even though it's still censored out, it is Tonka. Thank you. Even though it was still censored out, and it's still a young girl, you know what I mean? So that's why I was like, nah, I don't think I wouldn't. So that's what that was.
So right there, Ralph's confirming that it was a failed to be censored nipple. Like he said, the areola was still showing. Like it's right there. It's confirmed that yeah, they were looking at CP. Like Ralph, what are you doing? You just made the situation 10 times worse. You had a guy on the show. This wasn't enemy territory. You weren't suckered into an interview. This wasn't like when this isn't anything like that. You were on good terms with the host. The host was, coming to bat for you for a certain extent. He was trying to damage control the situation. But you're on there, and you're opening yourself up to criticism because there's people in the chat. The chat is not on your side. They are absolutely against you, and they're willing to pay money just to expose your ass. And there you are, confirming everything for them. Ralph, you need to stop talking about this and get a lawyer before you end up in a jail cell with Bubba. I mean, I know you're trying to own the J Caesar 187 meme, but I don't think you actually, I don't think you actually want to be like an actual cuckold, or maybe you would be like, what would, it's just amazing to me. Anyway, let's continue.
But why even bring it up on stream?
But again,
it's just so weird. Like, what the fuck?
But again, this is publicly on Instagram. It's not, No,
I know it is. But again, yeah, I think more. If anything, you probably brought more fucking pedos' attentions to go to Instagram and get fucking child porn as well. There's always that negative.
Well, I mean, unless there's a huge pedo audience, watching Worski stream, I'm not sure. But what I'm saying is, I think the real story. And I said this on the stream. And I said this on Twitter. It's Instagram allowing this. Why is Instagram allowing this in the first place?
No, I know that Instagram's is weird for allowing this shit in the first place, and I totally understand. But more people should just be just report it to fucking Instagram. I understand that, but it should just be more people just reporting this shit to Instagram. But no one wants to go and look at child porn simultaneously because that's what it is basically. It's fucking. It's just such a weird situation. The most you can do is literally, contact the fucking police and keep it under wraps. You don't fucking, hey, let's do a live stream talking. It's such a weird situation, the whole fucking thing. But like I say, Ralph, I think it was more, we're going to stop pedos, and you're like, hey, let's go and do it, superheroes. And it just didn't work. It did that's not what this was. This was some weird Instagram shit. And I understand Instagram's fucked up for having it on there. Not saying that they're not, right? But there are better ways to go about this.
Fingers, say to the face. What? Slap.
Oh God, it's such a
weird
weird
situation. Yeah, there's better ways. I don't disagree with that, but what I'm saying is, technically, by Instagram's terms of service, I guess that's legal. I'm not sure.
Ralph, no, Ralph. The terms of service isn't going to change the law of child pornography. You can't just magically hand wave that away by saying, oh, Instagram allows it, so it must be okay for me to look at it and download it. No, Ralph. No, that's not how the law works. Not at all. They're not going to allow possible or would-be kid dealers who are spraying some child porn around amongst themselves to get away with it because the terms of service say a specific thing.
Because there's all kinds of people on there doing stuff like that where they just have it, little censorship here or whatever, and then they put it up. My issue with it is they're younger people below 18, so
You know, how's the mainstream media?
I don't know. I don't know Instagram's toss. Like,
So
I don't know. If it's
I understand where
legal.
people are coming though from with the actual nipple thing in there. Like, I don't even find that funny. Like, the thing is that you are dealing with a delicate situation, and you then also went in with that. Like, the whole thing was just fucking catastrophic.
Yeah, the audio just sounds really.
It's so weird. It's just I'll play it back for you. Like, I'm sat here just like I've not even played the whole fucking thing, and I'm sat here just thinking about the little clip before. And we've only done 42 seconds, and it's just weird. It's
That's
just
the first one. She edits them before, so no one
Can't
has
really miss this.
uncensored except for her. But I don't know. Someone might have them. They look at Daddy's girl. Okay. Yep. There we go. Now we go back to this. Okay.
By the way,
I'm not gonna show that.
Pause it for a sec. He's reading a comment on the Instagram where that first part is not Worski. That's him reading what was posted.
no. That's the thing, and then he's like,
on
oh, but
Instagram.
if he would have gone, oh, I'm not going to show that, and then
But
go
the way
past
it's
it.
cut, the way it's cut, it makes it sound like he's saying
Listen. Andy sits here and he says, I'm not gonna show this at all. Oh, but guys, should I show this? Hey guys. it's a little bit
He
weird.
tried censoring it, but Ralph, do you see what I'm?
Like, I don't think they were bad intentions, but it's just
Yeah, that's not gonna be fucking. Yeah.
I wouldn't do that one. That
dicey,
could be a
yeah.
mole for all we know.
No, I'm sorry.
That could be a mole.
Yeah, it's not like a.
Now that's a
actual,
joke.
block on the nipple
Maybe
there.
you should make that joke. I understand, but I guess I don't know. It is what it is. I kind of come from the, Richard Pryor.
Guys, it was just a joke. We were totally legitimately trying to bust some CP. We're putting our journalist caps on, but at the same time, some of this may have been comedy. This it may have been just a joke, but only the parts that made us look bad. I swear, that's how it went down.
Pryor school, you can pretty much joke about anything. So that's why I laughed at it, because I personally would not have made that joke, but it did make me laugh. Yeah, because it clearly wasn't a mole; it was a giant fucking scribble with a fucking, I don't know if it was your finger or like a note pen from Samsung, but that's why I laughed, because it was just so preposterous. But
it's just strange. But I'll get past that bit.
But Ralph, do you see what I'm?
We'll get past this bit.
That could be a mole.
Because it's a 4-minute clip, so we'll listen.
It's not like an actual block on the nipple there. Yeah. I can show this, or it's so hard to tell if you're allowed to show these. Now this person, she is 15, Ralph.
Oh. 15, 17, almost 18K followers. Cash Me app linked right there in the description.
You think I should? Oh, her Cash Me app's right there? Oh.
Yeah.
Now, I can show this, or should I block this picture right here?
I'd block it. If it's underage.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you know what?
Because, it's kind of just...
nude.
Yeah.
It's not nude, but it's like...
But it's kind of encouraging it, yeah.
Yeah, so let me go to... I'll do a snip here. Here you are.
By the way, this is not... Make clear that this is not CP.
Not at
I saw
all.
some people that shut this, but...
Not at all.
Still.
No, the CP is actually in a folder that these people... you have to
they're
actually,
the ones selling it. This is
you
just
have
the
to
open...
DM
Here,
them.
show them this on one of the
These are open Instagram accounts that are kind of the
You can
fronts
actually
for
join
this.
these. You can actually join these.
Yeah,
like,
they're
look,
public right now.
you
Yeah.
search that right now.
What is the 5 fingers? Say to the face. What?
Slap.
says thank God for these 3 people, and Sponge God 254, We Don't Thurn, and a couple others are thanking everyone for the folder, or thanking them for the folder.
Oh, it's these guys right here. So yeah. So like,
No, those guys below are different. That's just from that the Discord.
okay, so yeah, so these all these accounts are tied to these people. Now the actual folder itself that has the stuff on it, a girl has it in the UK.
So I agree with fucking and you all came to the conclusion, but it's like drama queens there. It's like why was he digging for something to show to the audience at Cognizant? Why show any when you're talking about a CP? And it's a child. She was 15. Andy got carried away with his fucking show yesterday. I'm sorry, but he did, Ralph. Andy got carried away with, I'm going to do a show and maybe he might do some shekels off the fact that, hey, we're busting some CP. But it didn't. It came off as weird. And I know you had your dark humor and stuff in there, the way you want to put it, but it's like this is a 15-year-old girl that we're talking about here.
I will 1,000. Nothing on that stream was CP. Nothing that he showed. Nothing that we saw.
Say to the face.
Right.
What? Slap.
We had basically a child that's essentially exposed up until the nipples covered in some emoji or some shit like that, and then we've got and I don't the other one I don't even know what that was. There's another one that he was like, oh no, I can't show that one, can't show that one. It's like he's just sat right.
Sorry about that. Let me just go back there. I'm only gonna play this for a few minutes more, and then we'll then I'll get my. Then we're going to move on to it.
It's just strange, but I'll get past that bit.
All right. Sorry about that. I goofed there. I misclicked it.
By the way, this is not. Make clear that.
But I'll put a link to this in the description so you can, if you want to see the rest of it, you can. But it pretty much goes the same way. And yeah, I'll say that like once the clip started being played and COD was aware of it, he did go a lot harder on Ralph and Andy towards the end there. I did notice a change in attitude. Also, another thing I saw in the chat real quick was Mr. Kelly. Forgive me my interruption, sir, but have you by chance seen Zoom's new video? Because according to Ralph, a detective and an FBI agent supposedly came to Ralph's apartment. I haven't seen Zoom's new video, but I have seen Ralph and Andy tweeting about this. Apparently, an FBI agent came to Ralph's place. Now, I've known, which I can believe that happened. I don't know what the involvement of the FBI visiting Ralph was, but presumably it was over this. If it did happen, like if Ralph, Zoom, and Andy are all saying it, I don't think they're lying about it. I don't think that they would just like go with the. I don't think they would lie about something like that. Sir, the story doesn't ring true. All right, so, well, I'd have to look at it. If it's not true, then it's not true, but I can't just assume they're lying necessarily. Some people have said that now, the thing is, assuming that it is true, this doesn't exonerate them from anything, because just because the FBI visits them doesn't mean that, yeah, I'll check it out. I'll follow up tomorrow night, and I'll look into that. But just keep this in mind. Just because the FBI visits your door or asks you a few questions, that doesn't mean they did a full-on investigation. They need a warrant to take any, in order to like access your PC and look at any files or anything like that. Then what they need to have a warrant for that. They can't just barge into your house and just go ahead and take your stuff. So it's very well possible that they're telling the truth, that the FBI came, but they almost certainly didn't look at anything. But again, I haven't seen Zoom's video. I haven't seen the. I've only read a couple statements from Ralph and Andy. I will watch the video tomorrow so I can look more into it and have more insight in the situation. But for now, that's all I can really comment on the matter. Also, someone else asks, yeah, someone else pointed out in the chat, yeah, Ralph was very drunk. He seemed to have been off his, like he seemed drunk in all the streams he went on that week. And yeah, I have noticed that, and yeah, that was a change in his, yeah, it has led him to be a lot more flustered, make a lot more mistakes, and etc. He's on parole. He doesn't have the same rights. Well, that is a good point. I'd have to look into it. Like, I don't know if an FBI agent visiting someone on parole means their parole is automatically violated for some sort of reason. And yeah, I do agree. I think I said this like way back in the day when I first heard about like when I first commented on the Ralph punching an officer thing, that yeah, he shouldn't be drinking. He has a clear problem with alcoholism, and it's leading him to do a lot of stupid decisions and mistakes. And it's a flaw that he keeps on exhibiting. So, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see where that ends up. The stream's gone on for a bit longer than usual. Normally I like to cap these at like an hour and a half, but I guess this won't be for 2 hours. But there's also something really bizarre that Coach Red Pill said that deserves commenting on. And let's go ahead and listen to that.
And the fourth thing is he is a piece of shit.
Oh, I should probably explain where this is from first. So Coach Red Pill recently did a video on Andy Worski, which, okay, fair game, and he said Andy Worski is 4 things. He previously called Andy like a liar, like a retard, well, actually, Coach explains it better than I would, but the first few points aren't real that important. It's this one here where things get weird.
He is a total piece of shit. Because there was one piece of personal data that I did tell him. See, when I was editing the documentary, the Knoxville documentary, I originally thought I'd have it ready by the 8th of February. It didn't seem to be much of a problem. I was editing away, happy as a clam. Editing is my favorite part of making videos. But then a personal situation rose up, a very serious one. And I told Andy about it because he called me and asked me when the documentary was going to come out. And I told him it wasn't going to be the 8th and it would have to be postponed at least another couple of weeks. And he asked me why. And this is the only time I've told him something personal and important. And I told him, and him alone, he was the only guy in the YouTube scene who I told this because I figured I owed him. I told him that my kid, my 3-year-old son, had a very serious kidney problem. We had all kinds of doctors and examinations and, trips here and there to talk to specialists, to have him examined and whatnot. And it was eating up my time, and that's why I was not going to make the February 8th deadline. Now, of course, I kept this to myself. He was the only one I told who's on the scene. Flash forward a few days, I do my interview with Pinecone. And as I do my interview with Pinecone on 8chan, 8chan, the board. Now, there's a board that everybody knows is just filled with e-celebs, all the people of our scene. They comment on it like they're anons, but we all know it's like 90 e-celebs and maybe 10 real anons. Everybody's in the scene. Everybody looks at it. It's like the blackboard of the scene, right? And so I go there and I see a note right after I'd done my video with Pinecone. And it's an anon. And the anon commentary is, I hope your son dies. Let me repeat that. I hope your son dies. And it was like in the rainbow lettering, Who would know? Who would say such a thing without knowledge? And who would be so angry at me? Because it was, of course, directed at me. Who would be so angry at me at that particular moment to have said that? It was Andy Worski. And that's why, in my book, Andy Worski is a piece of shit.
Okay, so let's just go over that for a bit. Firstly, is Coach Red Coach Red Pill, is he talking about cow? Could that be the board that he's not mentioning by name and saying it's the blacklist of the scene, quote unquote? Like, what kind of world does Coach Red Pill live in? He's saying that he's making the claim that, oh no, that isn't used by real anons. It's used by 90 e-celebs, and only 10 of them are actual anons. Like, why does he think attacking cow in that way by miscategorizing them and just coming up with these statistics out of his ass? Why does he think that's a thing? And how would he have any knowledge that this is going on anyway? Like, is there like a Discord where they're all posting each other's image posts or something like that? Because that's just bizarre to me. You read cow and it comes across as like a bunch of different voices. And yeah, there's a bunch of people there that are suspected to be e-celebs. But again, it's an ID that you're talking about. There's just no way to know. And that ID can be changed with a VPN or using Tor or whatever, or just switching devices. Like, Coach, I think this is a sign of Coach that because Cal has lost favorability with him, or seemingly has. It's not really hard to know. Like I've said before, it's a bunch of users, each with their own thoughts and stuff like that. I don't think Coach knows what the fuck he's talking about. I think he's doing this as a defensive maneuver. And further, where the fuck did he come up with this idea that because someone on Cal, remember, an anonymous image board where you cannot know who's behind what post, saying nothing else but I hope your son dies, like, how does that result in Andy releasing confidential information about you that you told him that your son is dying of leukemia? And also, like, let's just there's no evidence of this. Like, CRP is just making shit up again, and I've caught him lying before. Like when he lied and he said that Ralph didn't defend him at all when playing the audio tape, when Zoom was insisting that CRP didn't pay a dime for his share of the apartment. He's like, he keeps on lying about people. And I mean, again, I don't like Worski. I don't, but Coach Red Pill is worse. He's like far worse. And I've noticed that a lot more of these e-celebs have gotten a lot more bold when it comes to the Cal board. A lot of them have been calling it out. Like Ralph made it, like you could hear Ralph in the audio I played going on about it. And there's also on Twitter, Ralph specifically linked the thread and just tried to call him out there too. All it's going to result in, like, if you take this approach where you're going to go ahead and attack an anonymous image board, and you're an e-celeb and you're trying to make money off of your identity, then you're going to get fucked. You're going to get fucked hard because they're going to dig up all your skeletons and they're going to laugh at you for it. And at that point, you deserve it because you're an idiot and a retard. Like, so yeah, it's a really surprising turn, and I'm seeing some more e-celebs do this where they're thinking this is a good idea, and to me, that's just dumb. There's just one more thing I want to cover tonight real quick. Now, this is a tweet I showed earlier by mistake when I meant to show something else Andy said, but it's still worth mentioning due to how funny this is. I have found an attorney, and I have had the go-ahead to announce I am suing Jared Holt of Right Wing Watch. We are confident that the evidence I have is more than enough to win this case. Jared Holt will learn a valuable lesson when it comes to honesty in journalism. Oh, that's a big statement there. He got someone to proofread his little posts so that way he doesn't make any typos or bunch up sentences and butcher the English language so that way it resembles more of minced meat. But what's happened with this case? Where'd it go? Is Andy still working on this behind the scenes while he's going ahead and, watching CP, spurging out, lying to his audience, teaming up with Ralph and going on gay adventures, filming themselves, going to restaurants and stuff, and spurging out against people, sending them copyright strikes? Well, as it turns out, we got a little bit of an update on that. John Murphy on Twitter said, beginning to think you'll never sue Holt, ... Worski response, George Soros won't let me sue Holt. I am not a warrior for anyone else anymore. I am a warrior for me. Now, Andy's been making it like, Andy, like, I don't know. What more can I say about this? Like, he has to have been on drugs on this. Instead of just saying there was no case for it, or just like, Andy just gets more exceptional by the day. And if you want some entertainment, if you look at his Twitter right now, he's trying to just do the whole, none of this stuff bothers me, guys. Life is great. Life is happy. I'm not sure if he's playing it up or not, but I think he's gotten his hands, like, since he's gotten to the States, I think he's found the right connections, and he's got his hands on a bag of coke and probably 2 other drugs to go with it. Now, that's my little speculation theory on that. And this also shows that JF was right about Andy in one respect. Andy will threaten to do a lot of things, and then he'll never deliver on any of them. And suing Jared Holt is now on the list. It's on the list of things that he will not accomplish. And yeah, he cannot spell Soros. It spells it Soros. So make of that as you will. All right, so I'm just going to read through some of the chat here, and then I'm going to close it off because there were some comments that I missed that were interesting. So I'm just going to take it to the top real quick. I personally wouldn't use Ralph's defensive attitude as proof against him here. Yeah, I can see. Well, yeah, it shouldn't be taken as direct proof, but it is a tell that he's not exactly a good boy. He was it's a tell or an indication that he's like a person's composure and the way they conduct themselves can be a tell about their guilt. Although it should not be relied on as evidence because people can get nervous for quite a variety of reasons. So I don't disagree with that. The allegations are, however, there is other evidence to back up, what they did. The allegations are very serious, and honestly, a lot of people want to screw him right now. Yeah, don't disagree with that. There are people jumping on this just to fuck with Ralph, but I can't say that people trying to fuck with Ralph are in the wrong because the things are trying to, because he's done a lot of shitty things, as I cover on this channel in several episodes. Okay. The stream was stupid, and Ralph obviously doesn't want to go back to jail because of it. Well, obviously he doesn't want to go to jail over it, but I don't think putting himself more in exposure and telling blatant stories to defend himself that contradict one another, I don't think it's going to help his case in any way whatsoever. And as Ferguson pointed out, the law doesn't care about context when it comes to naked little girls. Yeah, agree with that. Oh yeah, this comment here. Nobody has done anything about Tracy Lords or Brooke Shields. I don't know who Brooke Shields is, but Tracy Lords, no, they actually did do stuff about that. Tracy Lords was a porn actress who started filming when she was below the age of 18. She lied about her age, and nobody bothered to verify this person was the age she said she was. She had done several shots in the porn industry, and years later it came out that she was, in fact, less than she said she was. So the FBI confiscated all the materials that included her in it, and it's illegal to download or watch that. So, yeah, nothing happened. Going down a bit. And yeah, it goes on to mention some other examples of CP that's floating around. And yeah, there is a tendency for the FBI to overlook certain cases and incidences for sure. Certain things people say online and stuff like that. And it may very well be the case that nothing's going to happen to Andy and Ralph at the end of this, but we'll see. I know there's some other comments that I missed that were very good that I just want to get to if I can. Why does it feel like the feds are making more problems than they solve? I shouldn't be considering that this may have been a honeypot like at all. Yeah, ideally, the feds would be trustworthy, but these are the same people that let Hillary off the hook for compromising confidential information and just saying that we couldn't really prove her intent, even though it's like a gross negligence thing, but we're just going to stop it here and yeah. And there's a host of other examples that people can cite. That's just the one that comes easily to mind. COG is too stupid and autistic to understand inference. COG can't compete circumstantial evidence. COG has his moments, but I don't think he's like in particular the Teal Deer debacle where he got into a back and forth with him and he came out on the losing end of that. But I don't think he's quite at I mean, maybe he's smart by Anglo standards, but I don't think he's quite the retard that everyone, that a lot of people say he is. Revenge porn laws remain. Let me see. Some other ones later on. Oh, this one. I gotta get to this one. If nothing else. Apparently, Ralph is now calling Godwinson an undercover operative working with the left. Okay, do send me a clip of Ralph saying that because I want to cover that. There's no way I'm not going to go ahead and address that in the next show. Like, if Ralph thinks that Godwinson is some kind of left-wing operative, then he's losing his mind completely, and he needs to put down the bottle. Like, that's what I have to say about that. Um, okay, let me see. To be fair, there was a meme on Cow that posters were 90% E-celebs. CRP is just admitting that he browses the board all day. I don't possibly. I don't think that's not how it came off though to me. I mean, I never heard of this meme or this rumor. I'm certainly not browsing the board all day, so maybe he picked up on that. However, I did pick up once that it was pretty much proven that he is one of the people that does post on the board. So that's probably just a bit of projection on his part. Godwinson sets up the Cowboys game, and CRP is the next one, the chopping block. He knows it's so now he's really uncomfortable with the board he's been up forever on. I mean, I don't know. Maybe is Godwinson secretly leading all the Anons to attack CRP? I don't know. If you eliminate CRP, like I wouldn't have an issue. I wouldn't take too much issue with that. He's been proven a snake and a liar on several occasions, and it's caused. And honestly, if like don't like the guy, do not. All right, and the last one I'll read before I close off. I like how this community is just a long Congo line of people in front of a dumpster fire, where the person in front gets pushed in, and then everyone behind him takes a step forward to repeat. Yeah, I don't disagree with that sentiment. Like a lot of the people that I've examined and on here, they don't produce any genuine. They don't put effort. It's like they either don't produce any content outside the drama, or if they do, it's all low effort stuff like the in real life streaming stuff, which anyone can start doing this. If you want to become an in real life streamer, if that's your passion, if that's your goal, all you need is a cell phone and the ability to upload to the internet. Like there's plenty of streaming apps you can use for this. Like I might actually talk about some of them on the show on another episode in the future. You can upload to YouTube. You can go to Twitch and do this. It's super easy to do. All you have to do is just go through life and just do things you can do in your local town. People will tune in to this apparently. I don't know why, but there is a market for it. So yeah, it's extreme low effort stuff that you can easily do. Or you can do response videos or takedowns, or you can try to run a half news show, I guess, or in the case of, or you can market yourself to incels while you give your advice about how successful you are with women while being divorced multiple times and never seeming to like have a successful relationship. It's just, and yeah, they are just tearing each other down for the sake of views and clicks and etc. And yeah, it's kind of sad and depressing. And the thing that they always do, and they don't even do drama right, because what they always do is they always have to inject themselves and make it about them. It's the ego. They have to go ahead and make sure that they are the focus, and it's about me and my reputation. And always bulls. And the thing I like about this though, the silver line to this is, it's blowing up in their faces, and it's becoming increasingly a bad look. Anyone who touches this thing, like for the most part, just like gets directly involved, they're ending up with egg on their face, and that's pretty much how it's been going down. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. I'm gonna do another. I'm gonna again make any promises because I've been inconsistent with it of late. Like there was supposed to be a show last night, didn't happen. However, if all goes well, there'll be another show tomorrow night at 8. I might follow up with more of the CP stream because there's some other stuff I didn't touch. Like, for example, apparently Zoom did a video about how the FBI visited Ralph's house. I did say I'll look at that, so that'll be the first thing on the thing in the show, and some other topics that I haven't had the time to get to. All right, have a good night, and peace out.